Good Monday morning to everyone. Hope you are doing well. Hope you had a nice weekend. We are now have shifted the page over to the month of June. I did a video yesterday. Actually, I did it Saturday night and uploaded it for yesterday, showing the standings and some of the statistical leaders after 2 months of the season. So hopefully you were able to watch that. If not, you can go back and watch it later. But now we're at game number 335. So first game on June the 1st. Again, we're going East Coast to West Coast as much as possible. So we're in Toronto. We're north of the border for the Seattle Mariners taking on the Toronto Blue Jays. This game from Toronto from Exhibition Stadium. Exhibition Stadium, pretty much rounded. So singles are the same for left and right at 9 apiece. Home runs are 1 to 11 left and right. So, there's no advantage one way or the other. Toronto comes into this game one game back of the Yankees and the Brewers. They are at 30 and 17. Seattle mired in last place in the West, 17 and 32, trying to play spoiler, but manager Dick Williams had a team meeting with them over the break between May 31st and this date, and hopefully he's gotten his troops to think of a restart and try to treat the season like they're 0-0. So we'll see what happens. Toronto Blue Jays, Seattle Mariners, Joe Johnson on the mound for the Blue Jays, and Scott Bankhead on the mound for the Mariners. This is one that I set up the score sheet last week on the computer, so it'd be nice and neat, so you don't have to worry about my nasty handwriting. And what I also did down here is put the bench players that are available for each team. Mariners have 5 bench players. They're all right-handed hitters, so there's no distinction here. Toronto has 5, but they have 2 from the left side and 3 from the right side. So that's what we have here in this one. Joe Johnson coming into this game with a record of 1-5. Scott Bankhead a record of 2-4. So pretty bad that a pitcher with a team record of 30 and 17 has a personal record of 1-5. Kind of rough there. Looking at the wild pitch ratings and balk ratings for Johnson, 9 wild pitch, 0 balk. For Bankhead, 3 wild pitch and 5 balk. Pitcher catcher quotient is a 0 for Toronto for Johnson and a +1 for Bankhead. Pass ball rating on Witt is a 3. Pass ball rating on Bradley is a 1. So hopefully everything else is up to speed at this point. Good morning, Kathy, Jeff, and Chuck. And of course, got to have the coffee. That's mandatory. I think I'd be lost. It'd be like starting the game without dice if I didn't have the coffee, I think. So kind of like I said, Strat and coffee to me kind of are a natural pair, like peanut butter and jelly. All right, so got to, as usual, got the game on the Strat computer so I can score it as we play it. Full numbers on Johnson. He's 1-5 with a 5.40 ERA. In real world, he had a 5.13 earned run average. He was 3-5. He's pitched 47 innings, given up 55 hits, 11 walks, 16 strikeouts. Now, he only pitched 67 innings in the real world. So he's got 20 innings left. So you figure he's probably got about 3 starts remaining. I have to let me double check. I can tell you exactly how many starts he has remaining. In the real season, he started 14 games. And this game here will be start number 10. So he's going to have 4 games remaining after this. 4 starts, I should say. He's strictly a starting pitcher. So Joe Johnson will be on the bump, and leading off for the Mariners will be John Moses, center fielder. Moses is hitting .236 on the replay. 2 homers, 21 driven in. He at .246 real world. And we're underway on this first game of June, breaking in a new month. 4-11, and that's a fly ball left field X. We're looking at Bell. He's a 2E13 is George Bell. 2 with the double die behaved this time. 220, he'll get to it, obviously. We are looking at E13, and that is a 12. E13, but there's a 2-base error on George Bell to start the initial game in June. Look at it again. That's a 12, and he is an E13. Is George Bell. You look at George Bell's card right here, E13. He's a 2E13. So with that result, E13 and a 12, it's a 2-base error on George Bell. Not what Joe Johnson needed. He needed some defense behind him, but now he's got to work around this 2-base error, at least attempt to. And that'll bring up Phil Bradley, left fielder. Bradley hitting 224 on the replay, 515 driven in. He at 297 real world, so he's definitely underperformed to this point. That's a 1. Chance of a wild pitch on Johnson. His wild pitch rating is a 9. And it will be a wild pitch, so that'll send Moses to third base. Still nobody out. Toronto infield will play back this early on. They figure they're going to score some runs, so they want to limit the damage by Seattle to just 1 run. They'll gladly trade the run for the out. 2-9, and that's a fly ball left field B question mark. So chance of a sacrifice fly. Moses can run. He's a 17, the highest rating you can have. So on the fly ball B question mark, take the run rating of the runner, you add 2 to it, and then subtract out the fielder. Well, it went to left field. Bell is a -2. So we got the 17 plus the 2 and the -2. So it's back to a 1-17. I think that's pretty good odds to send him. So 1-17, he scores on the sacrifice fly, and he does. So it's a sacrifice fly from Phil Bradley. An unearned run, but the Mariners in their situation will take it. They'll take whatever they can get. Beggars are not choosy. And it's 1-0 Seattle here early on in the top of the first, and that'll bring up Scott Bradley, the catcher. Bradley. Hello, Dr. D. Bradley will step to the plate, and he is hitting 261 on the replay. No homers, 13 driven in, 278 real world. 611, and that's a ground ball pitcher X to Joe Johnson. Johnson is a 3E0, so he cannot make an error. We're just checking to see if he gets to the ball. And with a 3 range, he just basically needs this to be a 4 or higher. The only way he does not get to it is if it's a 1, 2, or a 3. And he barely gets to it, but he does. So Joe Johnson will make the play on a little comebacker to the mound. 2 down for the big designated hitter, Ken Phelps. Ken Phelps hitting 225, 8 homers, 25 driven in. He hit 259 real world. 1-8 for Phelps, and he will draw the base on balls. First walk issued by Johnson. He, of course, will not be held now. And here's Alvin Davis, and if you saw the little video I did yesterday, he is leading the Mariners in hitting at a 284 clip on the replay. 7 homers, 23 driven in. He hit 295 real world. And Jeff, that's good coffee. So even though he's leading the team in hitting, he's still underperforming. Tells you what kind of season the Mariners have been having. 2-8, and that's going to be a 1-7 double, 8-20 is a single. So it's a single, 2 stars. Davis gets the base hit. Now runners are at the corners with 2 outs. And just when Joe Johnson thought he could get out of things, he's back in trouble again. Here comes the hound dog, Jim Presley. Presley is now a clutch situation for Presley. And you know what? He is completely neutral. I'm sorry, he has 1 out. A 2-3 is going to turn into an out in the clutch. Everything else is neutral. Hello, Dan. Good to see you. Presley, again, like everybody else on the Mariners, struggling in the replay, only hitting 214. 11 homers, 36 driven in. He hit 247 real season. It's a 2-5, and he's going to ground it to short, and that's going to end the inning. So the Mariners get 1. It's unearned, thanks to the 2-base error by George Bell to start the game. The end of half an inning to play. It's Seattle 1 and Toronto coming to bat. And Scott Bankhead, 9-8 with a 5.42 earned run average in the real world season of 1987. And we'll see what he has done here on the replay to this point. He is 2-4 with a 4.66 earned run average. So his earned run average is better, but his record doesn't reflect it. 68 innings pitched, 59 hits, 16 walks, and 34 strikeouts. And leading off for Toronto will be Tony Fernandez. He is hitting 360 on the replay, a homer and 14 driven in. He hit 322 real world. So he's really been doing well, has Mr. Fernandez. 2-9, but this time he pops it up to short, where Mr. Quinones will put it away. 1 down for Lloyd Mosby. And Mosby, surprisingly, is leading the league in runs batted in at 48. He's got 13 homers, 48 driven in, hitting 321 on the replay. He only hit 282 real world. 2-6. This time he's going to strike out, so Bankhead gets him on the strikeout. 2 down for Willie Upshaw. He's the one Blue Jay who's been struggling on the replay. He's only hitting 202. A homer, 13 driven in. He hit 244 real world. 6-7, and that's a 1-5 single. Anything else, he lines it to second, and that's a line out to Harold Reynolds at second base, and the inning is over. So 1-2-3 inning for Scott Bankhead, and the Mariners lead at 1-0 over the Blue Jays. And of course, the Brewers and Yankees are watching this game with interest, as they are Mariner fans at least for one day. Joe Johnson back out. Mike Kingery is your batter. Kingery, right fielder in this one. And he is hitting 244 on the replay. 4 homers, 14 driven in. He hit 280 real world. So almost to a man, every Mariner batter is struggling compared to real world. It's a fly ball to right field, and that's going to be handled easily by Barfield. 1 down. And hello, Colin. Happy June in this world to you as well. Kathy has a trivia question for us in the top of the third, so get your thinking caps ready to go on that as I sip another cup of warm coffee while it's still warm. And Jeffrey, that is good coffee. I have to say it. Can't lie about that. And actually, I have new creamer too. They've come out now, since it's gotten closer to the holidays, they've come out with the peppermint mocha version. So International Light Creamer. I usually use a Cinnabon, but this is the new creamer now is peppermint mocha. Gives you that holiday feeling, you know. And it's very good. Of course, I'm one that likes a little bit of coffee in my cream and sugar. So for those of you who drink coffee black, I admire you. I can't do it. So too bitter for me. All right, here's Ray Quinones. Quinones is hitting 215 on the replay, 2 homers, 19 driven in, but he hit 276 real world, so definitely underperforming once again. But I admit it, I'm a wimp when it comes to coffee. 3-8, and that's going to be a 1-8 single. That's a base hit for Ray Quinones. That'll bring up Harold Reynolds. He's an excellent bunter, but there's already 1 out, so there's really no reason to bunt when there's already 1 out. So Harold Reynolds will swing away. He's actually one guy that's above his average. He's hitting 284 on the replay. No homers, 7 driven in. He hit 275 real world. So let's see. Quinones is not being held. And we'll see what Reynolds can do. 5-3 switch hitter batting left. 5-3 the fly ball right field X. We're looking at Barfield. He's a 1, so you know he's going to get to it. The only question is an E3. And the only way he makes an error is 3, 15, and 18. That's it. And that's not a problem for Barfield. He'll put it away. 2 down. And that brings back the top of the order. John Moses reached on that 2-base error by George Bell. Then Johnson followed with a wild pitch, and then sacrifice fly from Bradley brought him home. 5-10, switch hitter batting left is a catcher X. We're looking at Ernie Witt. He's a 2-E2 from the catcher position. 2-20 is probably a ground out of some sort. It is a G1. 2-20 is a G1. That is a 12, and he is an E2. E2, the only errors are 3, 17, and 18, so it's a good play. It's a G1 ground out. Let's call it 2-3 since it's the third out. It would have been a double play, but there are already 2 outs. So just a simple ground out, a little worm burner in front of the plate. And that'll do it for the Mariners in the top of the second. Go to the bottom of the second, still 1-0. And George Bell will lead things off for the Blue Jays. Here's where business picks up. We got Bell and Barfield back to back. George Bell hitting 302 on the replay, 14 homers, 39 driven in. He hit 308 real world. 1-6 and that 113 is a home run. That is a 13. Right on the number. Look at it again. 1-6 is a home run. 1-13. That is a 13. So it's not. We don't need the baby wipes for this one. It's not clean as a baby's ass, but it still counts. And we tie the score at 1 apiece. And for George Bell, that is home run number 15 on the replay as he starts to approach the league leaders in that category. And the league leader in that category is right now Jesse Barfield, 16 home runs, 45 driven in, hitting 302 on the replay. Hit 263 real world. 6-5, and there you go. I think this counts, Jeff, as a baby wipe home run. 6-5 is an in home run chance. Of course, he has the normal power, so D20 is not needed. So to me, when the D20 is not needed, that makes it clean as a baby's ass. You can clarify that for me if I'm wrong, but that's what I'm getting here. So we're looking at back-to-back jacks, 6-5 in home run chance, and it's gone. Jesse Barfield, home run number 17 to increase his league leading total. And it's back-to-back jobs against Scott Bankhead. And it's now 2-1 Toronto. Here's Ernie Witt. Witt hitting 293 on the replay, 7 homers, 22 driven in. He hit 269 real world. 3-3 for Witt. He's going to pop it up to Reynolds, and that's out number 1. Hello, Jeremiah. Good to see you. You're here just in time for a trivia question coming up in the top of the third from Kathy. You're usually really good at those trivia questions. Here's Kelly Gruber hitting 333 on the replay, 6 homers, 19 driven in. He hit 235 real world, so he's definitely overperforming at this point. 411. Ground ball first base, actually. Looking at Alvin Davis, he's a 4E9. That 4 is a little bit problematic. We'll see if he gets to it. 4-10, I think he still gets there. I think it's a G3. 4-10 is a G3. Nobody on base to be held, so the pound sign is irrelevant. But this is a 16. That could be problems. He's an E9 and a 16. Fortunately, he catches a break. 14, 17, and 18 are errors, but not a 16. So Davis will field it and flip to Bankhead for out number 2. And they retire Gruber. Brings up the crime dog, Fred McGriff. McGriff on the replay hitting 237. 9 homers, 17 driven in just 97 at bats. Hit 247 real world. 3-9, and that's going to be a ballpark blast. It's 1-11, but that's a 13, so that's a deep fly to right field. And McGriff will come up just short. But the Blue Jays do not come up short twice with solo home runs from their 2 power guys, Bell and Barfield. And at the end of 2, we have Toronto 2 and Seattle 1. And now if you would direct your attention to the chat box and see what the trivia question is for us today to start things off and see if we can figure it out. All right, Billy Martin played for 2 National League teams in his career. Cincinnati was 1 in 1960. What is the other? Oh, I didn't know he played in the National League. I knew he played for the Yankees and the Kansas City A's, but I didn't know he played in the National League. I have no clue on that one. So maybe Jeremiah or somebody else can, Dan or somebody can chime in on that, because that one I'm stumped. I don't even think a hint would help. Because I didn't even know he played for the National League teams. So anybody wants to chime in, we got Cincinnati as one of them. So now we got to figure out who the other one is. There were only so many teams in the National League in 1960, so perhaps you can just throw a wild guess out there. I can guess, but anybody can guess. I mean, it's not going to be a good guess, but I have no idea. Dan says the Milwaukee Braves. That's as good a guess as any, as I can tell. Boy, who else? Who else could possibly have gone to here for 1960? Yeah, mine would be a total guess also. He played 6 games for them before being traded to the Twins. That didn't help me a whole lot. Oh boy, who would have traded with the Twins is the question. I'll guess the Phillies, but it's just a total guess that I have, and I'm sure it's not correct. But just throw it, just eliminate one other team. Oh, Dan got it with the Milwaukee Braves. Cool, good deal. Dan comes in with the right answer without. He didn't even need the clue. Actually, he just took a total guess, and there it was. It was a swag. It was a swag. SWAG. Sophisticated wild ass guess. That's what I call it. Yeah, Jeremiah, I knew he played for the Kansas City A's. I didn't even know he played for the Twins. I know he managed for the Twins. Didn't know he played there. All right, thank you for that one, Miss Kathy. It's a good question to start us off with. Top of the third, Phil Bradley, and the Mariners have some coming back to do. 3-3, and it's a ground ball to third. One away. Of course, they're facing Joe Johnson, so this is kind of like their best chance to score some runs, because once they start hitting the better pitchers, they're going to run into trouble. So here's Bradley, the other Bradley, Scott Bradley, 4-11, and that's a fly ball left field X. Looking at George Bell, he made a 2-base error his first time up, first fielding chance. Let's see if he can do it again, not make it that same mistake again. 2-14, obviously he'll get there. Question is on the 11, is that an error on an E13? E13, no, he had the 12 last time. This time it's an 11, so this time he will make the good play. And that will retire Bradley. So 2 outs, and that'll bring up designated hitter Ken Phelps. 3-5, and that is a strikeout to end the inning. That's the first strikeout for Joe Johnson. And I hope you folks are enjoying the one little National League game that I'm throwing out there every weekend, just to be different and just to see the pitchers hit, because I certainly am enjoying it. And actually, those games have been better than the games in the American League, if you want to know the truth about it. It seems like all the National League games get really interesting. Close ones with lots of double switches and pinch hitting and all sorts of, just National League ball, which is what I prefer. All right, here is Manny Lee. Manny Lee has only had 8 at-bats, but he's 4 for 8 since being called up. So he's hitting 500. In 121 at-bats, he hit 256. So Manny Lee stepping in against Bankhead. 2-4, and that's a ballpark single check. 1-9, that's a 6. So Manny Lee continues his hot hitting since being called up. Oh, don't tell me we're getting the circles in the sand. We don't need the circles in the, okay, hopefully that came back for a split second there. I saw circles in the sand, so it had me concerned. Hopefully it doesn't pop back up, and hopefully everything still looks okay. Look on my phone to make sure it's not in. It looks like it's still relatively clear, but I mean, I did see the little circle. I don't know if anybody else saw it, but I did see the little circle come up on my screen, so I was definitely concerned. Don't want to start the week out like that. All right, here's Tony Fernandez. He is an A bunter, but he's also hitting 358, so I don't think I'm going to bunt with Tony Fernandez. We're going to have him swing away. Nothing on the havoc. 5-8, and that's a strikeout for Tony Fernandez. Second strikeout for Bankhead. All right, trivia part 2 will come up in the top of the 5th, so be ready for that. Get some more coffee while it's still warm. Definitely good coffee. So Tony Fernandez strikes out. Here comes Lloyd Mosby. He was the other strikeout person in the first inning. 2-4. And it's ground ball shortstop bay. That'll be a tailor-made 6-4-3 double play to end the inning. Giovanni's Tailor Shop sponsoring the tailor-made double play of the game. It comes in right there on that 6-4-3 to end the inning. After 3 complete, still 2-1 Blue Jays. Top of the 4th we go, and it'll be Alvin Davis to lead things off. Davis singled his first trip. 4-9. This time he'll fly it to Bell in left field. They've been testing Bell quite a bit. That's the 3rd putout already in left field for George Bell. Here's Presley, the hound dog. 3-9, and he singles to center field. Base hit for Presley. He will not be held, and that brings up the right fielder, Kingery. Kingery flew out to right his first time up. 2-7, he will strike out this time. Strikeout number 2 for Mr. Johnson. And now here comes Ray Quinones, the shortstop. He did single his first trip. 5-5, and that's an in-home run chance, 1-4. That's a 3, and he has normal power. So this is going to be gone. A 2-run shot for Ray Quinones, not known for his home run prowess. But here we go, 5-5. Is an in-home run chance, 1-4. The double die is a 3, and he has normal power. Ray Quinones had 12 home runs on the season, so he had more home runs than I thought he had in the real season. In this replay, that's home run number 3 for Ray Quinones. And the Mariners jump back on top, 3-2. Home run number 3 for Ray Quinones. 3-2 lead for the Mariners now. And Joe Johnson continues to struggle as a pitcher. Here is Harold Reynolds. 3-8 for Reynolds. He will ground it to short. Tony Fernandez is there, and that will end the inning. But the damage done on that 2-run home run from Ray Quinones. Mariners reclaim the lead, 3-2 as we go to the bottom of the 4th. Blue Jays definitely have the bats to come back. The heart of the order coming up, Upshaw, Bell, and Barfield. That's a lineup that Bankhead, a portion of the lineup that Bankhead did not do so well against in his first pass. 4-9, that's going to be a fly to center, so Moses will haul that in. But now you got Bell and Barfield. It's where the rubber meets the road right here, Bell and Barfield. 5-6, but he struck him out. Nice outing there from Bankhead to get some retribution on George Bell. Here's Barfield. He also, of course, hit the homer his first time up. 6-6, and this is going to be a 1-15 home run. It's gone. That's a 5. I know it looked like it was in between a 5 and an 18, but it was leaning to 5. So 1-15 is a home run. That's a 5. Barfield hits his 18th home run of the replay. 18th home run of the replay for Jesse Barfield. And we have a tie game at 3. So Bankhead couldn't get through Barfield. And that brings up Ernie Witt. 4-4 for Witt, fly to center, and that's going to be Moses, a 2-E5. 2-13, he'll get that, but boy, that 17 is not too good. Even with an E5, that might be an error. E5, 17 is a 2-base error on John Moses because of the 17. So even though the double die isn't evil, the D6s are evil in its stead. So it's a 2-base error on John Moses. We've had 2 2-base errors by the outfielders in this game. This one by Moses. And that keeps the inning going for Kelly Gruber now in a clutch situation. Gruber will lose a hit on 2-3 and also loses a couple hits, 3-8 and 3-9. Bankhead has to settle in and bear down, try to overcome that error. 1-8, and he does. Ground ball to short ends the inning. But the solo shot from Jesse Barfield has tied this game. And at the end of 4 from Exhibition Stadium, it is Seattle 4 and the Blue Jays 4. We go to the top of the 5th, and if you turn your attention to the chat box, Kathy has a second trivia question for us while Joe Johnson takes his warm-up tosses. And that's good coffee. He is the only player to be the last player to touch the ball in back-to-back World Series. One on offense and one on defense. All right, how do you touch the ball on offense unless you're I guess it means you're batting. I don't know. He is the only player to be the last player to touch the ball in back-to-back World Series. Wow, that's out of left field, to pardon the pun, but that's something I don't have a clue. Maybe Jeremiah or Dan or somebody can chime in or either throw out a wild guess. Back-to-back World Series. All right, we got a Joe Carter guess from Tribe Fan. Jeremiah's guessing Kubiak of the A's. Dan says Joe Carter. We got 2 Joe Carter votes. Tim got it. Tribe Fan. He caught the throw from Dwayne Ward. In 92, Dwayne Ward, I guess, made the last. Oh, because he was at first base. I'm thinking Joe Carter in the outfield. He's at first base. It must have been a ground ball back to Ward that went to first base, and Joe Carter caught it to end the 92 series, and then he hit the game-winning home run in 93. Okay, that makes sense. I got it now. Very good question, Kathy. I keep forgetting Joe. Even in this replay, he does a lot. I keep forgetting he plays first base sometimes. Especially, I think the Blue Jays had some good outfielders at that time. So, yes, thank you for the question for that. That's right. Otis Nixon tried to bunt it on. I remember that now. I remember Otis Nixon tried to bunt. I do remember that now. I do remember that. All right. John Moses will lead things off against Joe Johnson. 3-8. And that's going to be a fly to center field. And if we'd have had a President Ward at some point in our life, we would have had that outplay Tribe Fan would have included 3 presidents' names because you had Nixon and Carter. But unless I'm forgetting somebody, I don't remember there being a president named Ward. But it was close. Could have had that. All right, so Moses flies to center. Brings up Phil Bradley. He's 0 for 1, but he did hit a sacrifice fly in the first inning. 4-8, and that's a single 1-4, but otherwise he lines it to short. That's out number 2. 2 down for Scott Bradley, the catcher, and he is 0 for 2. Wait a minute, that was Scott Bradley. What am I doing? That was Phil Bradley. Scott Bradley, yeah, he's 0 for 2. I got to see Bradley and Bradley. It's like seeing double here. All right, Scott Bradley is 0 for 2. 2-7. He's no longer 0 for 2. He's 1 for 3 with that base hit. 2-out single for Bradley. He's no threat to run. That'll bring up the big guy, Ken Phelps, designated hitter. And this is Joe Johnson's fatigue inning, so we'll keep an eye on that. 2-4, and that's a home run chance, 1-13 for Phelps. That's a 15. It'll be a double to center instead. We'll see if Bradley can score. He's a 10, not being held as an 11. 2 outs makes it a 13. The double goes to center field when it's not defined. Mosby's a 0 arm. So we're talking 10, 11. We're talking 1-13, and they will send him, and they will throw through. Phelps at a 9 will not take third on the overthrow. So 1-13, and the Mariners will take the lead. And they don't. He's out at the plate. What a play. What a play and what a relay from Fernandez. It's going to go 8-6-2, and they get the slow chugging Bradley at the plate trying to score on that double. So it's a double, but it's going to end the inning. And the out's going to go 8-6-2, a perfect relay from Tony Fernandez. And the tag put on by Witt, and that will keep the game tied. We stay tied into the bottom of the fifth at 3-3. But I thought it was a good gamble, 1-13, 65% chance. Certainly Alvin Davis doesn't have a 65% chance to get a base hit, so thought that was worth the gamble, but just didn't work out. All right, seventh inning stretch, before the stretch, I should say. From Kathy. So bottom of the seventh, but before the seventh inning stretch. All right, here's Fred McGriff. 2-5, and that's a strikeout. So strikeout number 4 for Bankhead. That'll bring up Manny Lee. One 8 for Lee, and that is a line out to short. Right to Quinones, 2 down. Back to the top of the order for Tony Fernandez. He is 0 for 2. 5-7, and it's ground ball second base. Actually, looking at Harold Reynolds. He's a 2E21. See if you watch baseball tonight before the game to see if we can figure out how to field. Get the basics down. 2-10. He got that part right. That is an 11, and he's an E21. E21, there is no 11, so obviously he did watch baseball last night, and figured it out. Makes the play. We completed 5, and it's still 3-3. Joe Johnson's going to come back out to start the 6th, but he's on a short leash because we've got bullpen activity for the Blue Jays. And we'll check out their bullpen and see who is the most rested. Well, first of all, we'll see who's even available because I don't have them listed here. I just got the pinch hitters. So from the right-hand side, you have 3 pitchers. You got Jose Nunez, Mark Eichhorn, and Tom Henke. And from the left side, you have Jeff Musselman. So lefty Jeff Musselman is loosening in the bullpen for the Blue Jays in case he is needed. Well, Dan, we can hope so. Wouldn't it be something if Strat-O-Matic came out with a Black Friday sale and says, this set's going to include all the players? Yeah, like that would ever happen. All right. Here's Alvin Davis. 5'11", and that's a ground ball pitcher X. So we're looking back to Joe Johnson again. Again, he's a 3E0. So he has to have a 4 or higher on the D20 to make the play. Now, there's no hope on that, Dan. That's never going to happen. But it would be nice if they could somehow put that out as a PDF or something like that where you can print it off yourself. That would be, that certainly wouldn't cost them any money. I mean, that would not impact their bottom line with the printer or anything like that. Just put it up on a PDF and, charge $5 for it for extra players or something. Whatever you want to do. But PDF is passive income because once you put it up there one time, you can keep revenues going without having to work at it. It just sits there. I mean, we're in 2025, almost 26 now, and they may be the only company I know of that doesn't do PDFs. Maybe. There's probably somebody else out there, but all the major ones anyway. All right, 2-7 for Presley, and he's going to strike out. Strikeout number 3 for Joe Johnson. So if the Blue Jays can get 6 innings out of Joe Johnson, they'll be ecstatic, I'm sure. Here's Kingery, right fielder. He's 0 for 2. 6-8, and that is a fly to center field, and that's going to end the inning. So Joe Johnson, a 1-2-3, 6th inning. He may come back for the 7th. We shall see. It is the bottom of the order, so anything's possible. This is the fatigue inning for Bankhead. He is a number 6 rated fatigue chances as a starter. And Lloyd Mosby, your batter, he's had a rough day. He struck out and hit into a double play. 3-7, and this time he'll draw a leadoff walk. Haven't been many walks in this game. In fact, for Bankhead, that's his first walk of the game. Johnson has walked one as well. So very limited walks so far. Mosby now has a chance to get a lead. Bankhead is a +1. We haven't had many steal attempts in this game because people haven't gotten on to that are successful stealers. But we got a chance here, 2 through 5. 8, he doesn't get the lead, so nothing to worry about. Here's Willie Upshaw. 5-6, and that's a strikeout. There's a dot there, but he has not reached fatigue yet, so the strikeout is good. Strikeout number 5 for Mr. Bankhead. But now he's got to go through Murderer's Row, Bell and Barfield. Bell and Barfield. Bell has homered and struck out. 6-2, and that's a fly ball right field X. Fly ball right field X. We're looking at Kingery. Kingery is a 3E3. 3E3. 3 and 18, he'll get to that. E3 and a 7 shouldn't be a problem, but you never know. Nope, 15, 18, and 3, the only errors there, so Kingery will make the play. 2 down, but now he's got to deal with Barfield, who has got him twice with home runs. Jesse Barfield. Could he do it again? 2-2, but instead he fouls out. I'm sorry, it's 1-2. 2-2 is a ground out to short. And that's going to end the inning. So we stay scoreless or in the 6th inning. So the score remains 3-3. And Bankhead, of course, will come out for the top of the bottom of the 7th, I should say. Now the question is, do they want to have Joe Johnson come out? We got right-hander, switch, and then a righty. So I think that's going to be it for Joe Johnson. I think they're going to feel fortunate to cap him at 6 innings. He's going to give up 3 runs, 2 of which were earned. He gives up 6 hits, walks 1, and strikes out 3. So that's it for Joe Johnson. He will leave, and they will go to right-hander Mark Eichhorn. Foghorn Eichhorn will be coming on. Very interesting how he spells his name with 2 H's. That's kind of unusual. In the real season, he was 10-6 with a 3.17 ERA. As a relief pitcher exclusively, he pitched 128 innings, so he was kind of rubber-armed in that season. So don't feel too bad about using him too much. So we'll get the numbers on what he's done on the replay to this point. On the replay, he's 0-0 with a save and a 3.14 earned run average. 29 innings pitched, 26 hits, 15 walks, and 22 strikeouts. He's got a fatigue of 2, so he can go at least 2 innings. You know that. All right, we're in the top of the 7th, so possible pinch hitting if you want to do it. But Quinones and Reynolds both hit decently well, so they're going to stick with their starters. No, Dan, I just can't do more power to RJL if he can do the advanced crap, but the game was great the way it was. All they had to do was fix a couple of things, and it would have been almost perfect, but they decided to go a different route, which is their prerogative. It's their company. Or Chris's company, whatever. But it just totally turned me off. I have no interest whatsoever. I mean, it looks like a Pursue the Pennant card or one of those. It just looks like, Appa Master or something like that. Just totally way too busy for me. But for those that like it, hey, like I say, play the game you want to play the way you want to play it. All right, here's Quinones. He's had a great game, single and a home run for Quinones, 4-9, and that's a strikeout by Eichhorn. So he's off to a good start. Don't forget we have a trivia question at the bottom of the inning from Kathy before we go to the 7th inning stretch. She'll give the question out, then I'll go to the 7th inning stretch, heat my coffee, and come back. That's the plan. All right, here's Harold Reynolds, 4-6, switch hitter is a base on balls. So Harold Reynolds will walk, and he's going to be looking to get a lead. Eichhorn is a +9 hold. That's a definite deficiency on his part. So that should give Harold Reynolds an excellent chance to steal the base. Even without a good lead, he can steal the base, but he's going to try for the good lead. 2 through 6 or a 9. And that's a 5. He gets the lead. So it's an 18. Being held is a 16, but the +5 is a 21, but 19 is the highest you can have. The T rating on wit is a 4, so they figure it's not too bad of a chance to throw down. So a 20, he's out. Everywhere else, he's safe. So Harold Reynolds steals the base. And the go-ahead run is now in scoring position for the top of the order and John Moses. Moses is 0 for 3, did score the run after reaching on the error. 6-3, switch hitter batting left, and that's a ballpark single check. 1 to 9, that's a 7. It's a base hit, 1 star only. So Reynolds will have to stop at third base, but now you got runners at the corners with only 1 out, and John Moses is going to be looking to get the lead. He needs a 2 through 10 or a 12. 11 he's picked off, but what are the chances of rolling 11? 6, he's going to get the lead. He's a 15, being held as a 13, but the +5 is an 18. 1 to 18, he's going to steal it. And he's in there, so that takes the double play out of the equation. Now the infield is going to have to come in for the Blue Jays against John Moses. The infield will play in. Second and third, 1 out. That's a 3-9, and that's a ground ball second base A, so that will freeze the runners. They will stay put. And good thing they stole that base at second, because that would have been an inning-ending double play. Again, that's why you steal bases sometimes, to stay out of double plays, not just to get an advancement on the base paths, but to stay out of double plays. So now the infield back to normal. Clutch situation for Phil Bradley. Bradley, let's see here, see if I can move this over here just a touch so I can get these cards in view, but not lose the dice tray. I don't want to lose the dice tray either, so that's a fine line to walk. Let's see how that turns out. Waiting for my delay here. Can't tell. Oh, there we go. Okay. Looks kind of cat-a-corner for some reason. I don't know why it's looking that way. See if I can fix this somehow. I don't know why it's looking that way, but let me try to fix it here. Without you guys getting too dizzy, of course. Boy, this thing is just not going well for me. Why is it? I don't know why it's like that. There we go. That's a little bit better, I think. Maybe we got more. There we go. I think that's the best I'm going to do right there. Okay. We'll go from here. Sorry about that. All right, so Phil Bradley, clutch situation for Bradley. And in the clutch, he will lose a hit on 2-5 and 2-10 and on 1-7. So 3 different places he loses a hit. Eichhorn to Bradley. Actually, it's going to be Scott Bradley, not Phil Bradley. My bad. Scott Bradley's up. 5-5 lefty, and that's trouble. 1 to 2 is a triple. Anything else will be a single. That's a single 2 stars and a big base hit for Scott Bradley. A 2-run single for Bradley, and the Mariners take the lead by the score of 5-3. Scott Bradley comes through in the clutch with a 2-run single. And Yankee and Brewer fans are happy. Here's Ken Phelps. Or 4, and that's a ground ball back to Eichhorn to end the inning, but damage already done. 2 runs here in the top of the 7th by the Mariners, and they lead it by the score of 5-3. And now Scott Bankhead is back in position to garner a win if the Mariners can hold on to the lead and never lose it. We do have Kathy coming up with a trivia question. 7th inning stretch is also coming up. So I will be going to heat my coffee for that. But if you would turn your attention to the chat box, Kathy has a trivia for us before we have the 7th inning stretch. What pitcher closed out Pete Rose's career with a strikeout? Ooh. I thought at first when I read that it was going to be Gene Garber because he's the one that ended the hitting streak in 78, but closed out his career with a strikeout. Well, his last game he played, I think, was in 86. But boy, do I know who struck him out. I have no idea. That's a good question there. Boy, I don't know where you find those questions, but they are some good questions. I'll leave anybody's guess on that one. And while you guys are trying to figure it out, I'm going to go heat my coffee and let you guys listen to the 7th inning stretch while I go heat my coffee and finish out this ball game. So we go to the bottom of the 7th. Still mull over Kathy's trivia question. We'll get the answer when I come back. Oh, it's a bird. It's a bird. Okay, so I'm thinking must be Cardinals then. In 86 in the Cardinals. Man. I'll guess Todd Worrell, but I'm sure that's not right. He's a closer. He was a closer for the Cardinals, but I'm sure that's not right. Oh, it's a bird nickname. It's a bird nickname. I'm assuming that means it's the Cardinals, but I mean, I could be wrong. So that's a good one. I have no idea. We'll let people mull over that. But my coffee needs attention, so I'm going to have to do a heated up refill. And we'll do Take Me Out to the Ball Game. We'll get back. If nobody has answered, maybe Kathy will have another guess for us if nobody's gotten it right. But for now, I'm going to go stretch, heat my coffee, and you guys can enjoy Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Okay, we are back. Let's see if somebody answered the trivia question. Goose on the Padres, don't throw tomatoes at me. So Tim got it with Rich Gossage. Okay, cool. Oh, okay. I was thinking team name was a bird. You're saying nickname of the pitcher was a bird. Goose. Got it. Okay. Sorry about that. I was thinking along a different lines there. That's all cool. Good question. Good question to dig that out. Padres and the Goose struck out Pete. And Pete Rose was not an easy guy to strike out either over his career. He was a good contact hitter, which is why he hit so well and had so many hits, because if you put the ball in play, it's a good chance it's going to find a hole. All right, so we are now looking at the bottom of the 7th. It'll be Witt, Gruber, and McGriff against Scott Bankhead. Scott Bankhead only gave up a walk in his fatigue inning, so he is good to go with some more endurance. And the coffee is now good to go, refreshed, filled up, heated. It was already hot in the pot, but, it's all good to go. And Jeff, if you're still here, that's some good coffee. I haven't seen him in the chat lately, but hopefully he's still here, just maybe watching and listening. But anyway, here's Ernie Witt. Witt is 0 for 2. He did reach on a 2-base error by Moses the last time up. 6-3 left-handed ballpark single, 1-9. That's a 4. So Ernie Witt, a leadoff single. Now you could think about maybe pinch running for Witt, but they kind of like his defense, and he might get another at bat. So I don't want to have to necessarily go that route. Here's Kelly Gruber. Could get a pinch hitter for Gruber. So we look at the bench. We got 2 lefties. We got Leach and Mullenix. And Mullenix could pinch hit for him. Let's see. They're 2 runs down, so bunting really is not a thought right now. Gruber, 235 hitter real world with 12 home runs, but I'm thinking the Blue Jays might be going to a pinch hitter here. The 310 hitter Rance Mullenix is going to pinch hit for Gruber, and he'll stay in the game to play third base. They'll lose something a little bit defensively, but they gain offensively. And when you're down by 2, you need to gain offense. So Mullenix will be on to pinch hit for Gruber. So we have Rance Mullenix. He is on to pinch hit. We'll get the numbers on Mullenix on the replay. See how he's doing. Mullenix. On the replay from Mullenix, he's hitting .352, 5 homers, 20 driven in. So they're going for the gusto right here is Jimmy Williams. He's going to pull out Rance Mullenix and use one of his best pinch hitters. 6-7, and it's a 1-5 single. Anything else, he lines out to second base, so Harold Reynolds will snag it, and Mullenix does not come through. Bring up Fred McGriff. Of course, he represents a tying run, and he's already got 9 home runs and 99 at bats. So this is at bat 100 on the replay for McGriff. He had 295 real world at bats with 20 home runs. This is bat number 100, and he's got 9 home runs in 99 at bats. See what he does here. McGriff against Bankhead. 210 for McGriff, and that is a ballpark single check. 1-9, but that's a 13. So he will again line it to second base. Out number 2. And that's going to take us to Manny Lee. Normally I'd pinch hit for Manny Lee, but he's doing so well. He's a 256 hitter real world. And plus he's hitting 500 on the replay, 5 out of 10. Switch hitter. So we're going to keep Manny Lee in the game and let him hit. 4-5, switch hitter batting left-handed, a fly to center, and that's going to do it. Bankhead 7 solid, maintains a 5-3 lead for the Mariners. Go to the top of the 8th, and the computer is warning me that I must bring in Mullenix to play third base. So he's already there. I just got to give him a third base assignment. So we have a third baseman in the field. And now Eichhorn back out, and he will be facing Davis, Presley, and Kingery. Hello, Mike. Good to see you. So Davis, Presley, and Kingery due up for the Mariners here in the top of the 8th. So a 5-3 ball game. It's a 1-8 for Davis, and that's a 1-16 home run, and that is gone. Alvin Davis just hit home run number 8. And Eichhorn is really struggling in this relief role today. Home run number 8 for for Davis. Look at it again, 1-8 is a split chance. 1-16 is a home run, and that's an 8. So there you go. Home run, Alvin Davis. It's now a 6-3 Mariner lead. And here comes the hound dog, Jim Presley. 1-9 for Presley. Fly ball to center field. Out number 1. That'll bring up Kingery. 4-9. That's a 1 for a single. Anything else, he lines out to second base. That's 2 away. And the lineouts are starting to pile up now all of a sudden. Goes back to a conversation we had a couple days ago about how many lineouts are in this game. Let's see what we got. I'm going to circle all the lineouts. We got 1 here. We got 1 here. So that's 2 up there. We got 3. We got 4, 5, and 6. So we had 6 lineouts so far. 6 lineouts, and we're in the top of the 8th. All right. That brings up Quinones with 2 outs and the bases clear. That's a 4-5, and that is a fly to right field to end the inning. But the run comes in. The home run from Alvin Davis gives the Mariners a 6-3 lead. Bankhead back out. We face the top of the order in Tony Fernandez. Fernandez, uncharacteristically 0 for 3. Still hitting 355 on the replay, but he's 0 for 3 today. 1-6, 0-3 no more. 1-2 is a triple, 3-20 is a double. So it's a leadoff double for Tony Fernandez as he tries to get something going for the Jays. Seattle bullpen now is loosening with the oncoming big part of the order. So we'll look and see who they have available. They have 3 right-handers, Mike Trujillo, Steve Shields, and Jerry Reed, and 3 left-handers. They have Stan Clark, Lee Guterman, and Bill Wilkinson. Lee Guterman, no relation to Jeff Guterman, as far as I know. So with they got Bell and Barfield coming up. So eastbound and down, Jerry Reed is loosening in the bullpen for the Mariners, and he would be coming on if they decide to replace Bankhead before he gets to the big guys. Right now, you got a couple of lefties, though. So you know what? Actually, they're going to replace Bankhead right now, and they're going to bring in a lefty. They're going to bring in a left-hander, either Wilkinson or Guterman, depending on who who has the most rest. Let's see what Guterman. He's only pitched 1. No, he's pitched 10 innings, hasn't he? All right, let's look at Wilkinson. He's pitched 20 innings with 10 saves. They're going to go with Bill Wilkinson, left-hander, to face these 2 lefties that are coming up, Mosby and Upshaw. So that's going to be it for Bankhead. He's going to go 7+. He's going to give up 6 hits. 3 runs, they were earned. All 3 of them are home runs, but he is responsible for Fernandez, so we can't finish him off just yet. He walked just the 1, and he struck out 5. And now Bill Wilkinson is going to come on, a left-hander. On the real season, Wilkinson 3-4 with a 3.66 earned run average. He's got a -1 hold, so that makes him a +1, same as Bankhead. On the replay for Wilkinson, he's 1-1 with a save and a 4.58 ERA. 20 innings pitched, 19 hits, 5 walks, 21 strikeouts. His job is simple: get the 2 lefties out, and then they're going to bring in Jerry Reed to face Bell and Barfield. But right now, his job is to get the 2 lefties out. This is not 2025. He does not have to face 3 batters, which is why I think it's a crap-ass crazy rule that Major League Baseball has on that. 6-3, lefty, ground ball first base X. That is going to be Upshaw. I'm sorry, not Upshaw. It's going to be Davis. He's a 4.9. 4-12, he should get to that. 4-12. He does get to it. That's a 12 there, and he's an E9. E9, there is no 12 there. So Davis fields it. Will flip to Wilkinson covering. Fernandez will take second, but now there's 1 away. With the runner now at third base. Infield is back with only 1 out. And they have a 3-run lead, so they want to minimize the number of outs that are remaining. So they're going to give up the run to get the out. Here's Willie Upshaw. That's a 6-5, and that's an in-home run chance, 1-7. He has weak power, though, but it's an 18, so it doesn't matter. It's a fly ball to right field B, which means it will be a sacrifice fly. So, sacrifice fly from Upshaw. The Blue Jays get one run closer. It's now a 6-4 ball game. That run is charged to Bankhead, so we can close the book on Bankhead. And now we can close the book on Wilkinson as well, as with the right-handers coming up, they will go to Jerry Reed. So Wilkinson kind of sort of did his job, went 2/3 of an inning, didn't give up anything, but he did go up with the inherited runner. But now with George Bell coming up, Jerry Reed, he's going eastbound and down, trying to do what they say can't be done, which is get out Bell and Barfield. On the real season, he was 1-2 with a 342 earned run average. He's got a +6 hold, which is terrible. And we'll see what he's done on the replay as we go to Jerry Reed. Reed is 2-2 with 3 saves, but his ERA is 6.75. 28 innings pitched, 36 hits, 7 walks, 19 strikeouts. He's going to face George Bell. 2 outs, bases clear. Now a 6-4 game. 6-9 for Reed. That's a line out to third. The Hound Dog Presley snags it, and that's going to end the inning. So we go to the 9th. Mariners lead at 6-4. And we'll see if Eichhorn comes back or whether they go to someone else out of the bullpen. Eichhorn has gone 2 innings. Not very effectively, giving up 3 runs. So Eichhorn's day is done. We'll see who they have that they want to bring in. Who is the most rested or whatnot. So it looks like they're going to go to left-hander. Actually, how about this? I didn't see him. They actually have brought up, I didn't even catch this on the replay, but they actually have brought up a new left-hander on the team, and that's a veteran lefty reliever, Gary Lavelle. I hope I have a card for him. I think I do. But he is available, and he might be coming in to pitch. Let's pull out Toronto's minor leagues and see if I've got a Gary Lavelle card. But he is listed as being on the roster now, so let's see if I have a card for him. I may not. Yes, I do have a card for him. Okay, there he is. So new pitcher is going to be Gary Lavelle. He's a longtime San Francisco Giant veteran reliever, definitely at the end of his career. But he will be coming on, and this will be his first appearance of the season. And he'll be pitching the 9th inning. Gary Lavelle. He is a +1 hold, so that makes him a +1. On the real season, 2-3 with 5.53 ERA and 32 innings with a save. So we'll see what he can do here against switch hitters Reynolds and Moses, and then the right-hander Bradley. Top 9. And I realize the 3 and the 6 column are starting to fall off the page here. If I roll a 3 or 6, then I'll move the cards over so that you can see them. I don't know his name off the top of my head. I have an old email from him. I want to say his name is Joel, but not Joel who comes in this chat, but a different person. I'd have to go back and look at the emails from way, way back. But he was watching the replay when I first started and offered to send these cards to me for the players that are not carded. I don't have 100. He didn't give me 100%, but he gave me quite a few. I mean, I've got about 90% of the players I need, I think. But look, a guy maybe had 5 at bats or something. He didn't print that, but I got most of them. So I was very appreciative of him sending me those. It saves me a lot of work, and those cards look great. I cannot print anything off the computer that looks like this. I don't have the technology. My Strat-O-Matic printed cards look like I did it myself. So But I don't see any reason why Strat couldn't offer something like this as a PDF. Just a suggestion, that's all. All right, here's Gary Lavelle against Harold Reynolds. 3-4 for Reynolds against now a lefty, and that's a single for Harold Reynolds. So he gets himself a leadoff single, and he's definitely looking to run. Or at least get the lead with that +1 hold rating. That's a 10. He does not get the lead. It would only be a 1-12 if they sent him now, so they will hold him here. But Moses is an excellent bunter. So they're going to play the corners in, and Moses will try to bunt. Let's see where the bunt's going to go. 3. On a 3, the bunt goes, I believe, to the first baseman Upshaw. First baseman Upshaw. No, I'm sorry, 3 is the catcher. So it's going to be Ernie Witt. We're in column B. Basically needs a 9 or less to have a good bunt. And he gets the 9 around the number, so that's a good sacrifice. Sacrifice will go 2-4. With Manny Lee covering second base as Upshaw had to charge the bunt. So that does move Reynolds to second base with 1 out. And here comes Phil Bradley. First base is open. You got 2 lefties coming up. So they will intentionally walk Phil Bradley, set up the double play, and face off against Scott Bradley and Ken Phelps. Assuming Seattle wants to keep Scott Bradley. They do have Kearney as a backup catcher and Dave Valley, and they can always pinch hit with some of these righties. Boy, what do they want to do here? They're gonna stick with Bradley though. They're winning, so they're gonna stick with Bradley. First and second, 1 out. 6-7, and that's a walk. It's going to load the bases. So now an unintentional walk has loaded the bases. And now there's trouble. Will Robinson right here with the bases loaded and 1 out. Infield is in because Ken Phelps is not really a ground ball hitter. He's more of a fly ball hitter, so they don't trust that they'll hit the double plays. I mean, he's got a couple A's on his card, but I don't think they trust it. I think they're going to play the infield in here against Phelps. Bases loaded, infield is in. 5-9, and that's a 5-9 is a strikeout. What a big difference between 6-9 and 5-9. 5-9 is a strikeout for Lavelle. Huge strikeout. 2 outs now, and here's Alvin Davis in the clutch. Bases loaded. He just hit a home run in his previous inning. But that was against the righty, Eichhorn. Now against the lefty. In the clutch, he loses a hit on 2-8, and everywhere else he's neutral. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Lavelle has to get Davis to keep the Blue Jays in the game. That's a 5-7, and it's a solid double to left field. Wow, Alvin Davis might just clear the bases, and this might be the beginning of the end for the Blue Jays. Scoring is Reynolds. Scoring is Phil Bradley. Scott Bradley runs at a 10. He was thrown out to play trying to score a double earlier. So I think they're going to just hold him here. Not go through that one again. But Alvin Davis, the player of the game, Alvin Davis, he's a triple short of the cycle now. He's singled, homered, and now doubled. 2-run double for Alvin Davis. And the Mariners lead at 8-4. 8-4 ball game. And here's the Presley, the Hound Dog. And they might as well go ahead and leave Lavelle in there now because the damage has been done. No sense wasting another pitcher. 1-6 for Presley struck him out to end the inning. But that's going to do it for Lavelle. They didn't do the numbers for Eichhorn either. Need to finish him off as well. But a 2-run double off the bat of Alvin Davis. And the Mariners go to the bottom of the 9th, leading 8-4. Jerry Reed is qualified for the save because he came in when it was a save situation. So he carries that save situation over to the 9th. Get the information on Eichhorn and Lavelle from the box score. Eichhorn went 2 innings, gave up 3 hits and 3 runs. walk and a strikeout. He would be the losing pitcher of record. Lavelle, a very inauspicious start to his season. 1 inning pitch, 2 hits, and 2 runs. Walking 2, granted 1 was intentional. And no strikeouts. I'm sorry, 1 strikeout. He's got a strikeout there, didn't he? Actually, he had 2 strikeouts. 2 walks in. Oh, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, all the way across there to go with the 2 in the top of the 9th. So Jerry Reed is on to try to finish the deal. He'll be facing Barfield, Witt, and Mullenix for the Blue Jays. Blue Jays still have Cecil Fielder and Rick Leach, a couple of good possibilities as a pinch hitter. But we'll see what happens first with Barfield. He's got 2 home runs in the game. 2 for 3. That's a 1-8, and this is a solid single. And that's what you need. If you're down by 4 runs, can't get it all back in one swing. You got to get runners on base. Got to flood the base paths with runners. So Barfield is on. Here's Ernie Witt. Nunez for the Mariners is loosening their bullpen in case Reed can't hold it. Nunez is their designated closer. Pitch to Witt, 2-8, and that's trouble for Witt, or for Reed rather. 2-8 is a 1-10 double. That's a 5. It's a double 2 stars. And second and third, nobody out for Toronto. And that'll bring up Rance Mullenix for his second at bat. Infield for the Mariners certainly back because they lead by 4. They want outs. They need outs. Two 7, and that's a single. There's an anti-clutch, but there's nobody out, so it does not fit. The single is good. And being down by 4, they're not going to risk any running, so they will go station to station. It is an RBI single for Rance Mullenix. And now you wonder how much longer will they go with Jerry Reed. Here's Fred McGriff. He is the tying run. And actually, the Mariners now going to the bullpen. It will not be the right-hander Nunez. It will actually be Lee Guterman, a lefty. Lee Guterman be coming on to pitch to these lefties. Lee Guterman. He will come on. He's a +2 hold, which makes him a +4. So Guterman it is. Jerry Reed is going to go a third of an inning, give up 3 hits and a run, but he is responsible for both these runners. And McGriff against Guterman, but McGriff will not bat. Jimmy Williams has called on Cecil Fielder to pinch hit, and he will pinch hit for McGriff. So Cecil Fielder will do the pinch hitting. Cecil Fielder. And we'll get the numbers on Fielder on the computer once we get the numbers on Guterman. So first things first, Lee Guterman coming on. And on the replay, Guterman is 0-1 with no saves, a 5.40 earned run average, 10 innings pitched, 9 hits, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. Cecil Fielder on the replay is 8 home runs, 17 driven in, a 296 average, and just 54 at bats. So in 54 at bats, he has 8 home runs already, and he is the tying run. Runners at the corners, nobody out. Guterman to Fielder, infield back for the double play. 4-7, right-handed. That's a single 1-2. Otherwise, as a line out, we have our 7th line out of the ball game. It's a line out to shortstop for Quinones to make the play. Big out there to get Cecil Fielder. Now, do you stick with Manny Lee or do you go with Garth Orge off the bench against the lefty? Let's see, Garth Orge. Actually, Manny Lee is a better hitter, so we're going to stick with Manny Lee. He's a switch hitter. He can turn around and bat against the lefty. 40% of his bats came against left-handed pitching. So they will pitch it to Manny Lee. Infield still back for the double play. That's a 4-3. It's a ground ball first base X. They were not holding Mullenix on. So Davis will keep his 4 E9, but 4 is not very good. This could sneak through. 4 and a 9. That's going to be close. I think he'll get to it because he wasn't holding the runner. 4 and a 9 is a G3 pound hit. Had he been holding the runner, that would have been gotten through, but it's not. It's a G3, so the run's going to score, but it'll be an out unless there's an error. 13, and he is an E9. There is no 13, so Davis will field it. His only play is to first base, where Guterman is covering. The run comes in. That run is charged to Jerry Reed, and Mullenix, the tying run now, goes to second base. Unfortunately, nobody on base is a better base. Nobody on the bench is a better base runner than Mullenix. He's an 11, which is not great, but they have no other speedsters on the base paths. Hey, Joel, you got that right. Can't think of Lee Guterman without thinking of our buddy Jeff. So, but now it gets a little more interesting. It is now an 8-6 ball game, so the tying run at the plate in Tony Fernandez. So it really doesn't matter how well Mullenix runs because his run doesn't count. It's Fernandez's run that counts. 2 outs, runner at first. Guterman to Fernandez. That's a 6-6 switch hitter batting right-handed. 6-6 is a single to center field, and the ball game will continue. Going to second. Going to third now is Mullenix. There's no sense in trying to send him because his run does. You don't want to have him thrown out the plate. That would be the ultimate disaster. So Lloyd Mosby it is, facing Guterman here with runners at first and second and 2 outs. It's now a clutch situation for Mosby. And Mosby in the clutch loses a hit on 3-9. So Guterman against Mosby. It's a 5-6, and that's a walk. That's going to load the bases for Willie Upshaw. Another lefty on lefty matchup. Nunez is ready in the bullpen as their closer, but you'd like to have the lefty Guterman face the lefty Upshaw if you could possibly, because that minimizes what Upshaw can do. So the bases are loaded with 2 outs in now a 8-6 ball game. Clutch situation again for Upshaw, and in the clutch he loses a hit on 1-3. Everywhere else he is neutral. That's a 1-9, and he's going to walk in a run, and that's going to be it for Guterman. They can't go any further with him. He will be exiting the ball game. All these runs are charged to Jerry Reed. They will not help his ERA one bit, and Jerry Reed not a big fan of Guterman right now, allowing those inherited runners. It is now an 8-7 ball game with George Bell coming up, but they won't let him pitch to or face Guterman. They're going to have him face the closer, assuming Nunez is on the team. He may not even be on the team. I checked my roster. I don't have him pulled out as being on the team, so he may be off the roster right now, and he is. So they don't have anybody on the roster. They will go to Steve Shields. He had 3 saves. Not a good ERA of 6.60, but he was 2-0 with 3 saves. So it will be Steve Shields who comes on for the Mariners to try to get it done. Steve Shields. Shields on the replay, 0-0 with a save, 7 innings pitched, 6 hits, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. His ERA is 0. He has not given up any runs in 7 innings of pitching. But it's a tall task asking him to face George Bell with the bases loaded in the bottom of the 9th. +2 hole, not that that matters. Makes it a +3. But we're all down to this. George Bell in the clutch. George Bell in the clutch. Let's see here. He's completely neutral. How about that? And yes, Mike, that's a good observation. If we roll a 1 here, we're going to have a tie game. No question about it on the double dot. There is no 1. He got by with that. So here's Shields to Bell. Bases loaded, 2 outs. in what is now an 8-6 ball game, but the tying runs are on base in scoring position. The winning runs on first base. It's a 2-7, and that's a single to right field for George Bell. Single to right. Kingery does have a -2 arm, so we'll check the runners. Scoring is Fernandez. Mosby is the trail runner. He runs at a 17. Not being held is an 18. 2 outs is a 20. -2 is an 18. So it's a 1-18, and they're going to send him. They have to send him. There's no question about it. They have to send him. He's a 1-18 to score. Look at it again. He's a 17. As a trail runner was not being held, makes him an 18. There are 2 outs, makes him a 20. Kingery is a -2 for an 18. 1-18. If on the throw through, Upshaw, since he runs at a 14, will take third base, but that's almost irrelevant right now. It's a 1-18 chance to be safe and to tie this ball game, and he's in there. A 2-run single off the bat of George Bell, and Bell and Upshaw both will take the extra base, which is not going to help them because they'll walk Barfield intentionally now, but they do take the extra base to go to second and third, but we got a tie ball game. We got a tie ball game. No, Jeremiah, in solitaire, I don't get into the cut throw stuff. That's just too much to go for. Plus, there was a play at the plate. There is no cut throw, so because the play was at the plate. But we got a tie game. And the Mariner bullpen blew it again, which is why you can understand now why they're 17-32. They just blow an 8-3 lead in the 8th inning. So I don't know what to tell you. George Bell, they have batted around now because Bell started this inning, Barfield started this inning with a single. So they will walk Barfield intentionally to load the bases for Ernie Witt. I'm sorry. No, that was actually. Something's not right on my computer. Did I not give the right? Let me check my play-by-play because I've got Bell at the plate, and I thought it should be Barfield. Let me check the information here. Did I not put something in that should have been put in? Let me check my inning. Barfield started with the single. That's right. Witt doubled. That's right. Mullenix singled. Yep. We had the pitching change and the pinch hitter coming in here and that's a line out to short. So that's right. The ground out is correct. Single here is correct. A walk is correct. Oh, I didn't put the walk in for Upshaw. That's what I missed. Okay. That's what I missed. I didn't give Upshaw the walk. So let me go back and fix that so I can make sure everything is where it's supposed to be. So I did not give Upshaw a walk, and he was walked by Guterman. So let's see here. Fernandez had singled, and I'm going to walk to Mosby and a walk to Upshaw. That made it 8-7. Wait a minute, that should be the game. That should be the game. I got 5 runs here, so that should be a walk off there. It shouldn't even be an intentional walk to Barfield. That base hit from Bell should be the ball game. I'm gonna double check it, but it should be the ball game. That's what the computer is telling me too. I think it's what threw me off. All right, because you can see 1, 2, 3 runs here and then 2 runs here. So when Mosby scored, that was the game basically. There was no worry about a cutoff or anything. So basically, when George Bell, well, first of all, I need to bring in Shields to face Bell on the computer. And then when Bell gets a 2-run single, the game's over. Toronto wins it 9-8. So let's fix this real quick and make sure we're accurate. Doesn't matter about the trail runners. The game is over. Seattle 5 runs in the 9th to win it. And that's why Seattle is 17-33. Oh, boy. And how you like this? Gary Lavelle gets the win. He comes in and pitched 1 inning, gives up 2 runs, and he gets the win. Go figure. Losing pitcher is actually going to be Lee Guterman because he gave up the 2 runs those 2 runs that came in to give him the tying run and the winning run are charged to him. Shields faces 1 batter and gives up a hit, nothing else. And we'll go to the box score and get these final wild totals. So this ended up being a wild one. 9 runs, 11 hits, and an error for the Toronto. Seattle 8 runs, 11 hits, and an error for them. Lee Guterman gives up the loss. He's now 0-2, or he's credited with the loss. He's now 0-2. He went 2/3 of an inning, gave up a hit, 2 runs, and 2 walks. And like I said, Lavelle gets the win. He's 1-0. Player of the game, boy, you could give it to Alvin Davis because he had a home run double and a single. But you kind of have to give it, I think, to Barfield as well because he had 2 home runs and a single and got the whole thing started in the 9th. Got the whole thing started in the 9th with that single. So I'm going to give the player of the game to Jesse Barfield. He gets to be the player of the game. So a wild way to start the month of June for sure. Toronto goes to 31-17. So as you look at this new updated standings with this game in place, Toronto is now a half game back. They are 31-17. The Yankees are 32-17. Milwaukee 30-15. So as we move on to the second game to be played on June the 1st, we venture from Toronto down to the stadium, to Yankee Stadium. It'll be the California Angels taking on the New York Yankees. It'll be Mike Witt against Charles Hudson. It'll be game number 336 from Yankee Stadium. That will be tomorrow morning. So, hope you all enjoyed that presentation of Strat-O-Matic Super Advanced 1987. Got a little bit confused there at one point on what was going on, but fortunately, it got corrected and everything is the way it should be. Seattle just obviously shows their weakness of not having a bullpen, and that's why they're so bad. So that's going to do it from here. Appreciate everybody joining me this morning for this 1987 replay. Thank you to Kathy for the trivia questions. Thank you for everyone else for participating and giving the answers. Hope you all have a great rest of your day. And that's going to do it from here. Until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.